Hello everyone, welcome back to DiamondTrail Ranch. I got a topic for you. We're diving into something that's somewhat controversial. You know, people are curious, especially if you're new to chickens. Roosters. Today's topic is specifically roosters. Do you need a rooster? Should you avoid roosters? What do they really bring to your flock? I'm going to break down all the pros, cons, myths, and real life facts based on our experience right here on the Homestead. And guys, the whole reason we make these videos is to help each other out. The Homestead community doesn't like to be necessarily a part of an HOA, but at the same time, it's a community in general where we like to be a little more self-sufficient than we were yesterday. So we make these videos to help each other out. You can comment, let us know what you do differently on your homestead or whatever arrangement you have, what you're feeding differently, what we recommend to each other. You know, everybody, it's just passing off the good news to each other. So let's go ahead and dive right into, do you need a rooster? Do you need a rooster for eggs? Let's clear up the biggest myth just out the door, because some people just don't know, and that's okay. You actually don't need a rooster for hens to lay eggs. You just don't. Your hens will lay just fine without one. A rooster is only needed if you want fertilized eggs. So if you want more chickens, yes, you'll need a rooster. A rooster, you know, you're fine if you just want breakfast eggs, dinner eggs, you know, bulking, whatever you're doing, survival, one less trip to the grocery aisle. You're totally fine without the rooster. Are there benefits of having a rooster? Absolutely. You guys can see how open we are here, right? They help protect the flock. Roosters keep an eye out for hawks and predators and anything in general that is just out of the ordinary on your homestead. It doesn't matter, you know, they will help you out. So they can also help reduce fighting among hens. Here's some of our younger birds. Hi. Hey, pretty birds. A lot of times you'll see fighting, especially if you free range, but even if you don't free range, if you keep them in the coop, you'll get some fighting with your hens. And I don't mean roosters, I mean the hens. So roosters, well, you'll see them run up and keep each other in check. They're great for that. Of course, you know, if you're hatching chicks, you need a fertilized egg. This is just male, female, birds and the bees 101, guys. So you need a rooster, and you only need one. I think we have like 5 right now, but we rotate them out to various, neighbors or auctions even. You don't need a whole bunch of roosters. You only need, depending on your flock, you realistically only need one if you want more chickens. They're also not for everyone. You hear him? That big pretty boy? They crow a lot, and he just proved it. Hens make a lot of noise too, though. They don't just crow at sunrise. It's 2:30 in the afternoon right now. We're talking, all day. These guys just crow all day. They're pretty birds. Roosters can get very aggressive, and I'm speaking from experience. I was just mentioning Brownie, there he is. He's over there by the horses. I'll walk over there for you guys. He's, boy, does he get mean. And some people say, just turn him into chicken nuggets. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, he serves a purpose, though. And, turning into chicken nuggets, I guess, is technically serving a purpose, too. But we just keep him. He quit messing with me for a while, or hasn't messed with me in a while. So I'm walking over here to show you guys who I'm talking about. This is Brownie. That's what we call him. That's his nickname. Hi, buddy. He's the only rooster we have that sometimes a few months ago, he'd walk up behind me and try to spur me in the back of the leg. And I'm like, no, sir. Had to put him in place. Anyway, you know, they get aggressive, especially towards kids and newcomers. Not all roosters, but they can. If you have too many hens per rooster, or you don't have enough hens per rooster, he might overbreed or stress them out. So you do want to, like I was kind of mentioning, have an ideal rooster to hen ratio. This is where I'm talking about a good balance is typically one rooster for every 8 to 12 hens. So if you only have a few hens, one rooster might, believe it or not, overmate them, which can cause, the bald backs or stress. Our guys are chilling out right now, so I don't want to bother them too much right now. If you have multiple roosters, though, be careful, because they'll fight for dominance, and you'll see them too. They'll be running up. They'll have a hen. One of them will be going after hen, and it's the other rooster's hen. And Mr. Roo right here will try to do it all the time. He'll try to go take a hen. Nope, he gets kicked off all the time. So they fight for dominance. The roosters do. Like I said, if you have more than one. So have a good ratio. One rooster typically for 8 to 12 hens. Because that becomes more or less, those hens become that rooster's hens. You know what I mean? That's just how chickens are. So some breeds are known for being gentler than others. I'm going to give you guys a few great ones for backyard flocks. Orpingtons are calm and fluffy roosters. Australorps are also, I'd say those are usually very chill. The Cochins are like just big old teddy bears, honestly. Although I will say you need to avoid aggressive game breeds. He makes that sound all the time too. He's the only rooster that does that. It's awareness. They do that, to bring awareness to their surroundings. What it is she's right here next to them. I'm sorry, right next to him. That's Rain. She's one of our rescue dogs. Rescue guardians. She's actually completely deaf, but that's a whole nother... I have a video on our rescue guardians. Go check it out. You do want to avoid aggressive game breeds unless you know what you're doing. And I mean that. Some people, I don't want to say certain words, but some people... I'll say beginners. Some beginners get into specific breeds and they're just aggressive. He makes that whistling sound too. It's kind of interesting. He's the only one that does that. You guys hear that? Let's see if he'll do it again. It's funny I got that on video. Sorry, that's funny. Nobody believes me when I say he makes that noise. He's the only chicken. We have like 40 birds. I feel like 48 birds or something like that right now. He's the only one that makes that noise. Anyway, how to tell a rooster from a hen early on. Can you do that? When chicks are young, it's not always easy to tell, let's be honest. Let me know in the comment section below when you think you can tell, because that's always a fun topic when people think they can tell when they have a hen or a rooster. And sometimes you want to find out early so you can thin out your herd your flock or, whatever your goals are, Sorry, I like to pause for that sound. That is such a unique sound he makes. Roosters typically get larger combs early on at about 6 to 8 weeks. So at about 6 to 8 weeks, you'll see roosters with the larger combs, which is that red spot on his head. The big red comb on his head there, that's what we're talking about. You might start to see a shiny saddle or hackle feathers. You can see that on him as well. It's a good example, although he's older than that, obviously. They just start to show up between 6 and 8 weeks. And they may start trying to crow or spar with each other. You'll see that. You won't, not right now. These guys are all chilling. It's 2:30 in the afternoon on a midsummer day, literally in Florida. So they're like, get me out of the sun, He's being vocal because we're over here, me and Rain. So you guys get to hear him. He's more, like I said, he's one of the more vocal roosters, but anyway, you're going to be dealing with aggression. These guys are little testosterone driven, crazy monster. I'm kidding. They're not. They're not bad. But, if you do have an aggressive rooster, like I'm talking about this guy right here, Brownie, with his cool whistling noises, you have some options like I mentioned earlier. You can actually retrain them. That's why I haven't gotten rid of him. He hasn't messed with me in months. He really hasn't. Consistent handling, be around him, let him, show him your dominance, let him know, hey, You don't mess with me. I'm the one that feeds you, dude. Others just need space and to just not feel cornered. So let them, you can stress them out really bad too when you do that. So don't corner them. A lot of times though, it's best to just rehome or cull them if they're real danger, especially if you have kids. He hasn't messed with our kids. He has not messed with any of our kids. Literally, this guy just messes with me, and it was months ago. So I don't know what his deal was, but anyway, crowing in your neighbors. Rooster crowing is loud. You know, let's see if I can see any from here. I have some neighbors over there on the back. They crow, and they crow loud. I'm not gonna lie to you. It can be heard from over 300 feet away. One rooster can be heard from over 300 feet away. That can mean trouble with neighbors. You know, we don't get any complaints around here. It's a quiet area. Everybody knows what everybody has around here as far as animals. You know, it's pretty, you know, chill. You help each other out. Like I said, I like to do this as a community thing anyway. So we got eggs and milk, etc. That just, you know, back and forth with everybody. Co-ops kind of stuff. Now, if you're in a suburban area though, or semi-rural area, do check your local ordinances. Some areas straight up ban roosters altogether. Some places make you have require a permit to collect rainwater. I mean, there's just all kinds of weird laws out there. Even if they allow hens, they might strictly ban roosters. Can roosters live together? Some of ours do, and they don't mess with each other. If they're raised together from chicks and there are enough hens in space, they might actually work it out. But typically, mature roosters will fight unless you separate them or keep the bachelor flocks. We're going to talk briefly about broody hens and fertile eggs because roosters create the fertile eggs, right? If you want to hatch your own chicks, a rooster is essential. Once you have fertilized eggs, you can let a broody hen hatch them or use an incubator. We actually do both. The broody hen has been more, I'd say, of a recent thing or an accidental thing. I don't know if accidental is the word, but it's they just we let them be. You know what I mean? I think we have like 2, maybe 3 at most broody girls right now. But anyway, we just let them do their thing, and they hatch them. They do on their own, no problem. We also incubate them. We incubate our chickens. We incubate the ducks. Just be aware about half the chicks will turn out to be more roosters. You know, flip your coin, right? What happens if you have too many roosters? Too many roosters is absolute chaos. You do not want that. They'll compete. They'll overbreed your hens. You know the saying about rabbits? They'll possibly injure each other. So unless you're raising roosters for meat specifically, which we do know some people that do, or breeding, it's best to keep just one per flock or separate them into bachelor groups. Like I mentioned earlier, I call them cliques. They're bachelor groups, you know. So roosters are edible. Older birds take longer to cook, but they can make a great soup and a stew. This may be a topic some of you don't want to hear, but hey, we're here for it all, right? If you're breeding, you'll usually get too many males. It's just the nature of breeding, you know. If you're not set up for a bunch of crowing, you can humanely process them for food. Our experience with roosters here, we've had some sweet ones and absolute jerks. Look at this little buddy. Hi. Hi, pretty. That's a little pretty girl right there. Possibly, most likely a hen. That's probably a hen. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, some are great with flocks and even help raise the chicks. Others just cause problems. You know, the key is space, patience, and knowing your birds, for real. So do you need a rooster? Need. Is need the word we're looking for? No, you don't need a rooster. But if you want chicks, flock protection, or just love that sound in the morning, maybe. Hey, these little girls followed me again. Or boys, what do you think? I think the one on the back right there is a rooster. Tell me why you think I think that's a rooster in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Just be ready for the noise, the attitude, and the extra management. Let me know in the comments, do you guys keep a rooster? What's your experience has been like?